Okay, Mischief Magus here. I wanted to pull the stops later, but since I've been reading from Chris Warnock's book, this is one of the big stops that I'm pulling. This is called How to Speak with Saturn. Something you normally shouldn't do if you're relatively sane. But if you have a good Saturn, I'm sure you have a better Saturn than I do, but if you have a good Saturn, Chris Warnock writes from the PICATRIX on how to do it. Let me dim this a little so it's not so obnoxious on my handsome face. When you want to speak with Saturn and ask him for whatever you wish, you must wait until he enters into good condition, of which the best is when he is in Libra. Just so we are fully cleared of the record, apparently Saturn is best when he is in Libra, because he's not a shitter, he's an exalted guest in an air sign, which is his exaltation. Next, in Aquarius, which is the house of his rejoicing, and last in Capricorn, which is his second house. All of them are fine. If you cannot have him in any of these three places, put him in one of his terms or triplicities, or in an oriental, angular, or succedent house, among all of which the angle of the midheaven is to be preferred, direct in his course, and in a masculine quarter, being oriental as mentioned above. Oriental, of course, is if you just pretend the planets are going around. Let's say the sun's rising above the eastern horizon. Rises in the east, right? Yeah. Rises above the eastern horizon. Well, just see if Saturn rises before him. That's oriental. It's not amazing, but it helps. Beware of his detriment and unfortunate aspects, of which the worst of all is a square aspect of Mars. And do not let him be cadent. No. You can have him be cadent elsewhere, like in your natal charts if he's cadent, not too bad. But in another talisman chart, just try and make sure Saturn's not completely evil. It also goes on to say the most important point of which you should take diligent care is that you should see that the planet is in good condition and quality and remote from infortunes, like if he's close to the sun, not good. If he's combust the sun, don't do it. And if he's square to Mars, try again later. Because when he is like this, he is like a man of good will and lively heart, and a great and ample mind, that is, if he's free from infortunes, and in good condition. And if another person seeks something from him, he cannot find it in himself to deny the petitioner. When the same planet is retrograde in his course or cadent from the angles, he is like a man full of anger and ill will, who is most ready to deny a petition. Goes on to say, when you have placed Saturn in a good condition, as mentioned above, and you desire to speak with him and pray to him, here we go. This is all the stuff I've been talking about. Dress yourself in black garments. That is, all the clothing on your body should be black, and you should also wear a black cap of the sort that doctors wear, and you should wear black shoes. Then go to a place set aside for these workings, remote from other people, and appropriate to the humbler sort of people, walking with a humble mind and in the fashion of the Jews, because Saturn is the lord of their conjunction. Have a ring of iron in your hand, and carry an iron thurible with you. If you don't know what a thurible is, it's some ancient clerical-looking thing that I'm sure the Knights Templar or something used to burn incense. They're pretty expensive. So have the ring of iron and the thurible, blah, blah, blah. Onto the burning coals you throw the incense, of which you should put the following suffumigation concoction, which is compounded in this way. This is the hard part. I don't recommend you get all of these. If you get one or two, that should be enough. But these are ones that are belonging to Saturn. Storax is... Storax is the stuff that you can use for Saturn, I think by itself. But it also says to take opium. This is why I'm saying you don't want to take all of these things, but you take opium, storax, saffron, laurel seed, caraway, wormwood, lanolin, colocynth, and the head of a black cat in equal parts. Remember how I said don't worry about sacrificing? It says it because that's what was written. But don't kill your cat over this. You can just not do it. And then you do this in equal parts. And of course you grind up everything that needs to be ground. Ah yes, and this is my favorite. Blend it with the urine of a black goat and make pills of it. When you wish to work, put one of them on the burning coals of the thurible, saving the others. Then face the part of the heavens in which Saturn is found. When the smoke is rising, say this prayer. I will go on to the prayer. I probably should say the prayer now. It's a little long, but I can't tell you everything quite yet. But you do that. The reason why I tried to hold a lot of this stuff back is because it's really complicated. You do that stuff, that's how you prepare. And in other ways, and I don't do it that intricately, but I think that's the idea of it. You go somewhere remote, you dress in all black for Saturn. For the other planets is something different. And you get stuff. Now, I don't think that it works where it's like, oh, did you not get all of these? No? Then you're doomed, and no one will speak to you. But I think if you can follow it along as close as you can, that's good. In one of the other books I've read, I've heard storax be mentioned as Saturn's the incense. I'm not sure how true that is. But then again, I don't know anything to dispute it, so. And what the hell. Since we're talking about it, I'm going to recite to you the prayer that you say to Saturn. This is from Chris Warnock's book of Secrets of Planetary Ritual. Just so you know, and I think it's long, so be prepared. If you want, you can probably set this up so that I say it for you instead of you saying it. So I'll just say it appropriately. It's long. It looks like it's 2 pages. So here we go. When the smoke is rising, say this prayer. That's your cue to put me on if you want. You don't have to. I would just say it yourself. But it goes, O exalted Lord, whose name is great, and who stands above the heaven of every other planet, whom God made subtle and exalted. You are the Lord Saturn, who is cold and dry, shadowy, the author of the good, faithful in your friendships, true to your word, durable and preserving in your loves and hatreds, whose knowledge reaches far and deep, truthful in your words and promises, single in your operations, solitary, remote from others, near to suffering and sorrow, far from joy and celebration. You are old, ancient, and wise, and you abolish knowledge of good things. You are the author of good and evil. Miserable and tormented is he who is made unfortunate by your infortunes, and fortunate indeed is he who is touched by your fortunes. In you God has placed powers and virtues, and a spirit causing good and evil. I ask you, Father and Lord, by your exalted names and wonderful deeds, that you say your petition. Here say the petition you wish to make and cast yourself to the earth, with your face always turned toward Saturn, and with humility, sorrow, and gentleness. Your intention ought to be clean and firm in the matter about which you propose to ask, and you should repeat the foregoing many times. Do the aforesaid in Saturn's day and hour, and know that your petition will be effectually fulfilled. Here's another one. Now, this one has angelic names in it. I'm going to mess up the names because I have no idea how you're supposed to say them. Okay? So just bear with me. This goes on to say, There are other sages who pray to Saturn with different prayers and suffumigations, and the suffumigations of these are composed as followed. And of course, if you try to go around your friendly neighborhood giant, probably not going to find any of these. But it says, take southern wood, barricus seeds, juniper root, preserved dates, and cashew nuts in equal parts. Now, to be fair, that actually doesn't sound too bad. I might actually use that. You grind them up and mix them with a good wine well aged, that is, many years old. Make pills of the mixture and save them for use. It's much better than that black goat urine they were just talking about, right? Come here, little Billy. Let me get your urine. Oh, and you have to burn it and smell it. Now, to be fair, Saturn is the author of all bad smells, so it's not too far off. But I think old wine would be better and makes more sense because it smells. You don't want to smell burning piss. Ooh. Anyway, when you wish to do the working, do as we have said above, and put some of this fumigation in a thurible while facing Saturn. As the smoke rises, say, here goes the second different prayer. This is the one that has the angel names in it. Bear with me, I'm not going to get them right. In the name of God and in the name of Isbil, who is the angel to whom God has set assigned powers and potencies of Saturn in all things accomplished by cold. You who are the seventh heaven, I invoke you by all your names, which are, in Arabic, Zohal, in Latin, Saturnus, in the Persian language, Kewan, in Roman, Kronos, in Greek, also Kronos, in Indian, Sanasara. By all these names of yours, I invoke you and call to you. I likewise conjure you by the name of God the Exalted, who gives power and spirit to you, that you will listen to me and accept my prayer with the obedience by which you obey God and his dominion, and accomplish, here you say your petition. Here, speak your petition with the suffumigation continually being on the coals of the thurible. When you have said the aforesaid once, throw yourself to the ground facing Saturn, for this is consistent with his nature. And remember, his nature is basically drudgery. It's not pleasant. But throw yourself to the ground, because that makes sense. Repeat the foregoing words, and then make a sacrifice to him. More sacrifices. You don't have to do these, but make something. Behead a black goat, and collect and save its blood. Extract its liver, and burn the liver to ashes in fire, and keep the blood. When you have done this, what you desire will come to pass. Don't kill animals, please. If anything, maybe, I don't know, get creative. This is why people did sacrifices. And I used to think that they were barbaric until I started reading about this. I would never partake in killing an animal for this and then burning its body, but I do think that it does make sense. You kill it. Let me talk to you about something. In the old days, when things were made to be sacrificed, the ancients used to think, this is how I remember it, the ancients used to think of fire as the closest thing to God, the one God. It's everywhere, but you can't see it until you rub stuff in it. There it is. So you burn stuff. Burning things is an act of getting in touch with the divine, because I don't know how to explain this part, because I guess it's being broken down as fundamentally as possible to be burned up to the heavens. That's why incense works. The smoke rises to heaven, and smoke and fire was seen as the etheric element, I think. Now, don't count me on that, but I think that it was seen as if you burn something, like let's say you do sacrifice a goat, blah blah blah, praise Saturn, and the essence of the goat is burned and basically being offered up to the planet. It's hard to explain, but it makes sense to me in my mind, and that sounds barbaric, but I don't know, after a while you're just like, oh, I do know that that's how it works. But anyway, there are others for each of the other 6 planets, and we'll get to them, but this was a big one. Alright, I didn't think that I'd be casually, getting into it, and I have a robe that I was gonna wear and just be like, it's time to magic up or something stupid like that, but really, it's more of the same. You have to focus on the dignities of the planets, don't fuck up the times, and recite the words, and prepare. I'm telling you, at some level, it's Batman level prep. It's not like, alright, well, we got this already, alright, let's do it. I mean, you can do that, but in order to get to that step, you have to, like it just said, cashews, dates, grapes, or whatever it's required. You might have to go around shopping for some reagents, which isn't really that hard, until you want, like, I don't know, something that's just not available. Oh, I'll just go to the store and get some Storax. Go on Etsy. I've checked out Etsy a bunch of times. I don't really buy that much from there, but it's a creative enough place that you can find whatever you need. I do also recommend trying to get a wand, but I just get it because it seems cool and it makes a little bit of sense. You can, you don't need to. You can always use the old good index finger. Anyway, that's about it. Stay tuned. I'm gonna maybe make another video and then we'll catch you later. Hope you like this one. This is good information. I'm telling you, you're gonna look across all of YouTube and you're not gonna find some poor schlub other than me who tells you how to worship the gods properly.